Well, friends, album review time. These are becoming a little bit more rare lately, haven't they? I'm going to make a video about that in a couple days, talking about that. But I really did want to sit down and chat a bit, share my opinions, later opinions on Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clipse. Because how can you not talk about this album? This album, in my opinion, is a triumph, man. Triumph. 15 years, and then they come out, and I've got a couple notes written down. In the first thing I wrote down is, where do I start? You know, where do you start when you talk about an album like this? Do you talk about Pharrell Williams, who's been making music for 30 years now, 30 plus, coming out and making some of the best fucking beats I've heard consistently across an entire album in a long time? Like, that shit is impressive to me, honestly. What else did I write down? Oh, yeah. Do you talk about the features and how Tyler, the Creator, had the best feature? It's my opinion. I think Tyler crushed it with his feature. I think he sounds fucking amazing on POV. So good that I actually ran it back doing the stream, during the reaction to the album, which is not something I do hardly ever. Do you talk about two brothers who open the album with a song that's about both of their parents passing away? A song that's basically making everybody fucking cry. I mean, I cried my eyes out for reasons you guys are aware of, but even if it weren't for that, I think I would have cried. Kevin was crying. I saw Molly and Archie crying from F11. I mean, just people have been crying. People have been sending me messages talking about when they were making that song. I think it was Pharrell that like locked everybody in. Like, no, we got to make this song. Everyone was crying in the fucking studio. Like, such an incredible song. Such a powerful song. And I think opening the album with that, I think really, I was going to say it sets the tone, but it doesn't set the tone. It puts a stamp on who they are, where they are, what they've been going through, things they care about. You know, chivalry ain't dead. I seen you ain't let her go alone. You know, when talking about his dad, and Bible post-it notes up. Were you preparing then? And you were when talking about the mom, you were checking boxes. I was checking my mentions. The mom's doing all these things kind of behind the scenes to try and set everything up. And just that experience, the way they shared that experience with us, the audience. Both of those, to lose both your parents pretty close to each other at the same time, both being brothers, going through it together. Like, it's just, what a way to open the album, and what a way to more or less say, where life has gone in the last 15 years. Now, I know Pusha T's been active in the last 15 years, but treating this as a group, because it being two brothers, that has a big impact to me. That matters a lot to me, rather than if it was just a duo. The fact that they're brothers matters. When you talk about this album, do you talk about Malice? And what an incredible message he has woven in here. Something I love probably the most about this album, how Malice has just been so unapologetically flawed, open about his flaws, trying to tell people it ain't all fun and games. It's all la-di-da-di till you see the body. I don't know if that was Malice that said that. That might have been Pusha that said that. But just really, like, laying out the playing cards of his life. Like if you think of like a tarot card reading, right? And they flip over the card. It's like Malice is just going, I did this, and I did that, and I saw this, and I saw that, and this happened, and that happened. And it's not all bad. It's not all bad. But he just lays it all out there in such an honest, open, owning way. And that's what I appreciate the most, I think, is how he doesn't complain about his flaws. He doesn't whine about his mistakes. He doesn't woe is me over the bad situations that happened. He just owns it, beginning to end. It's all part of him, his life, his experience, his consequences, his decisions. He owns that. And to me, that's very inspiring. It's very inspiring because it's very natural for us as people to try to look away from our flaws and try and avoid the consequences and try to not admit to ourselves that it was the decisions we made that led to these things, man. And so I just feel like Malice throughout this album is sharing a lot of wisdom from a person that has gone through a lot of life, has seen a lot of things. What else did I put? Do we talk about Pusha T being cold as ever? So be it, so be it. That fucking final verse. During the reaction, I didn't know what it was about, so I had to read the annotation, and chat, you guys helped out with explaining it all to me, and then listening to the verse again. Now, every time that verse comes through, I'm just like, someone give me a jacket, because it's fucking cold in here. Man, such a great verse. And I kind of like, too, that it's not even the main piece of the track. It just kind of comes in at the end. So be it, so be it. And I love that it comes in at the end because it really is gives it a so be it type of feel. So be it might be my favorite beat. That's hard to say. There's a lot of favorite songs on here, but I love the sample usage in So Be It. So Be It's fantastic. Ace, trumpets, fantastic. POV, love. Mike Tyson, blow to the face, love. Inglourious Bastards might be my... Well, I don't know. Everybody needs a Mike Tyson blow to the face, though. Can't just be skipping on that. Like, I would say those are my top five. Those five that I just cracked. The Birds Don't Sing is... I almost put that in its own category. Like, that song is amazing, but it's amazing in its own space. You know, the rest of the album doesn't... I was going to say, like, it doesn't compare, it doesn't belong, but it does belong. And I think that's what makes this album so great. It's just such a combination of so many things working so well. Great features, great beats, great openness, great fucking coldness. Some great lyrics, some great shit talking, some silly lyrics. Everyone's quoting the fucking diamonds look like PP line or yellow like PP or whatever. The only downside to this album is the more I listen to it, the more I realize that it is culturally inappropriate. So that's too bad, but you know, it is what it is. Oh yeah, the runtime being 40 minutes. You know, I put it on, I listened to it, and it's almost too short, almost. But I think it's important, like maybe even if it ran a length that I thought, oh yeah, I just wish it was a little longer. I still think it's important that these guys came in, they said what they had to say, and then that was it. You know, there's no bloat, there's no excess, there's no mediocre hanging out in the album. It's just excellence from top to bottom. What else do I have? I put a little note. I didn't write a lot about it because I was trying to figure out how to say it without making it sound like pretentious or condescending. But I hope this album is inspiring to younger artists. I think every genre has its own kind of trope or stereotype that it gets stuck in. You know, every now and then I'm at work and I'm driving along with somebody else and they got the country station on, and it's just like, God, country needs to break out of this. Every song is about my girl and we're at the bar and whiskey and like, I can't take it. And with metal, even though I love metal, it seems like there's this vein of just badassery. And with hip hop, and I don't know, maybe this is just an online culture thing or just an entertainment industry thing, but it seems like there's this lot of focus on just being cool, gotta be cool. And obviously there's a lot of youthful elements that are tied into that. You know, as you get older, you're not cool anymore in a sense, because you're going to bed at 9:30 because you're already fucking tired and shit. But I also see online, and this is just in a broad sense, seems to be this fear of getting older, this fear of age, and this fear of not being young. And I don't know what drives that fear. I don't know if people have this sense that when you reach a certain age, you just can't do certain things. And to me, this album fully dispels that in a hip-hop sense, in a music creation sense, in making an album that's fucking incredible. Great beats, great rapping, great rhymes, great style, Just great everything. And I kind of hope it shakes people up a little bit. Like, I don't know if it will, honestly. I'm trying to, there's all the things going through my mind that I don't want to say because I don't want to sound like pretentious. But you can say a lot in music. You can say a lot in artistic forms of expression. And I feel like with the entertainment side of music, sometimes people get focused in on entertaining and not so much saying. And there is always a challenge of maybe you're trying to blend those two elements of being entertaining and building a fan base and getting bigger crowds and making more money, which is totally legit. There's nothing wrong with that. But then, how do you balance that with saying something that means something to you as an artist? And to me, that's the core of this album. This is Pusha T and Malice saying what they want to say. Saying it how they want to say it. I don't listen to this album and at any point think to myself, oh, this kind of sounds like this, or this kind of sounds like that. No. This is entirely them, entirely fresh. I don't hear any element of carbon copy in terms of style, production, flow. This is them. And they're doing it when they're in their 50s, early 50s. I think maybe Pusha T's like late 40s and Malice is early 50s, something like that. Like, the amount of originality and personality that's coming through on this album is very impressive. Very impressive. And it's just cool to see artists keep coming out with new shit, even if they're later on in their careers. And sometimes it feels like, well, maybe you've said all that you can in terms of expressing yourself or what have you, but another element I think that makes it challenging to keep putting out new and interesting music is it seems like the attention span issue is creeping up, and so it's more, we got to do more. It's got to happen more often. It's got to be faster. We got to have another single. We got to have another album. We got to have another video. Like more to always like dangle the keys in front of the audience, right? But I disagree with that strategy overall, in that you also have to live some life. You got to go out and experience things and let life happen to you and shape your views, and hopefully your views change a bit and grow as a person. And as that happens, your perspectives shift and you have something new to say, and then it makes for interesting music. And I think that's really a strength here with these guys. Malice probably specifically. Pusha T, I don't know. I'm kind of talking out my ass here now because I'm assuming too much about them. But there is something to be said about living some life, taking a break from putting stuff out, living some life, and then coming back and having something new to say. I think there's importance there. Anyway, rambling a bit, losing my train of thought. Fantastic album. Fucking fantastic album. Very impressive. And, yeah, we'll leave it there. All right, y'all. Take care. We'll see you soon.